Welcome to CrimeFiles TikTok Compilations, the most dangerous women in America, the vault of real horror, where murder isn't fiction and the footage never lies. In this collection, we uncover chilling clips, haunting case files, and real-life moments that reveal the darkest corners of the human mind. What you're about to witness is raw, unsettling, and unforgettable. These aren't stories, they're warnings.
This was the most evil woman to ever live. Her name was Linda May. She was born in 1923 in a small town in Iowa. To everyone, she seemed like a quiet widow. She had a little farm and spoke with a soft, kind voice. But between 1950 and 1971, at least 17 people went missing near her land. Hitchhikers, traveling salesmen, even a police officer just vanished. Nobody thought it could be Linda. The police believed wild animals or accidents by the river were to blame. But everything changed in 1972 when her barn caught on fire. Firefighters broke down a sealed wall inside, and what they saw was terrifying. 5 metal chairs bolted to the ground with straps for arms and legs, a rusty sink with dried blood in the drain, and shelves of glass jars filled with fingers and other body parts. When the police arrested her, Linda didn't even look scared. She smiled and said, "I gave them a home, and they gave me company." She died 5 years later in her jail cell. But the worst part? Only 7 victims were ever found. Linda had a notebook. Inside were 17 names, each one crossed out. No one ever found the rest.
This is the most dangerous woman in America. This is Miriam Adelson. In case you forgot, she was married to that toad, Sheldon Adelson, that croaked. She now controls the $30 billion. Remember how much money they gave Trump? Well, they're all running there. The ones that are running against him are running to kiss her ring. All I can say is, this bitch is screaming for cream rinse. Imagine having $30 billion and not knowing enough to think, maybe I should get some Brill cream because nothing else is working, honey. Anyway, she's dangerous. She's going to finance whoever's going to try to go into the White House on the GOP side. And what we need to do is be cunning, baffling, and powerful and undermine the GOP any which way we can. And I mean any which way.
Most dangerous female killers.
On August 2nd, 2009, Angela Simpson lured Terry Neely into her apartment with promises of sex and drugs. Once there, she subjected him to 3 days of torture before killing him. She pulled out his teeth, hammered a 3-inch nail into his head, struck him with a tire iron, stabbed him around 50 times, and ultimately strangled him with a coaxial cable.
You murdered this man.
Yes,
You tortured him.
of course.
There is no ambiguity, and there is nothing you want us. In court today, you said you're not here to pretend to be remorseful.
Of course not. Why would I do that?
If you had that moment to live over again,
I'd have kept him alive a week.
but you would have still tortured him and killed him.
Oh, I'd have tortured him for a week, yeah, instead of 3 days.
His dismembered body was later discovered in a burning trash can behind a church on August 5th. Simpson eventually pled guilty to the murder and received a life sentence plus 14 additional years.
No filter, you guys. This stunning Itanelli wig is custom made to perfection.
The woman you just saw in that video recently killed 2 young girls and their mother while they were walking down the street in New York City after crashing into them with her car. This is Miriam Yerimi. And since August of 2023, Miriam had racked up 20 speed camera tickets and 5 red light camera tickets in New York City. And actually, at the time of this crash, Miriam's driver's license had already been suspended, so she wasn't supposed to be driving. Now, Miriam herself, the driver of the vehicle, actually won $2 million in the past after she had filed a sexual abuse lawsuit against the NYPD. And in October of 2024, the NYPD actually showed up at her home to do a psych evaluation. And in January of this year, she threatened to sue them again for $5 million. It's unknown exactly what caused the crash at this point, but last Saturday, Miriam plowed into that Uber driver. And like I said, this was a huge crash, and she ended up plowing through a group of individuals, including a family that was on its way home from the synagogue. So the crash actually killed a 35-year-old mother named Natasha Sada and her 2 daughters, Diana and Deborah, who were 5 and 7 years old. Absolutely tragic. And sadly, Philip, Natasha's 4-year-old son, was gravely injured in the crash as well. In total, there were 9 people injured in this. And Miriam definitely should not have been on the road after all those violations and having had a suspended license at the time of the crash. This story is just absolutely unbelievable. And it always seems like it's other people on the road that you have to watch out for, especially when you've got people like Miriam behind the wheel.
I spent a weekend with one of the most notorious killers in Texas. So in my early 20s, I spent a lot of time in South Texas in women's prisons units helping people find forgiveness and second chances at life. And on this one particular weekend, when we arrived, the correctional officers informed our team that there was a new inmate on the premises. She was only 17 years old and had been tried and convicted as an adult for a very violent crime. And because I was the youngest person on our prison team, they voted me to be the one to work with her because she was young, I was young, and she might relate to me and open up to me. Now, I had a rule for myself when I worked with these women to never look up their crimes. I didn't want it to affect my judgment about them or to affect my willingness to help them, so that was just a rule that I always kept. So the correctional officers, they walked me down this long corridor into a classroom where sitting at the table was Erin Caffey. Now, Erin Caffey is a tiny thing. Now, I'm a tiny person, and I dwarfed her. She's very small, very timid, very soft-spoken, rarely will look you in the eye. And my first thought whenever I lay eyes on her and I sit down across from her is, how can somebody this small and this timid possibly be convicted as an adult for a violent crime? What violence is she possibly capable of? Little did I know. We started talking and we kind of started to get to know each other a little bit, cracked a few jokes. I tried to get her to lighten up. And eventually she did start kind of opening up to me, and she started volunteering some details about her version of what had happened the night of her crime. And I have to admit, even though I had a rule to really try not to know what people had done, I was very curious because, again, here's this tiny little thing. She's 17 years old, looks scared to death, and she's in this facility. And well, her version of the events that took place the night of the crime led me to believe that she was a victim in all of it and that it was really out of her hands. She couldn't stop it, and she's haunted by it, regrets it every day of her life, and she just wishes she could take it all back. And y'all, she was so convincing, just absolutely convincing, that I truly believed that she was innocent. She had somehow gotten mixed up with the wrong crowd, was wrongly convicted. And I started brainstorming in my head, like, how can I raise awareness about this and help her get out? Little did I know, in my naivety, that this young lady was a psychopath. She was very cunning, very manipulative, and the small, mousy, timid, soft-spoken thing was very much a calculated tactic to be a wolf in sheep's clothing. And my time with her started a long season of my life of panic attacks and nightmares, and I'm going to tell you more about that in part.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. I'm Trevor McDonald.
Hi, Trevor. I'm Addie.
Addie?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing here today?
I'm just talking. She's doing a little crafting, a little writing.
Some cards. You're sending cards out.
Mother's Day cards. It's coming up, so we got to get them out.
Yeah. Does your mother come to see you here?
No. My mother, she lives out of state, so she really doesn't come up here much.
She's never come to see you at all?
No. We just talk on the phone.
Yeah. And how long have you been in this prison?
Since 2006.
2006?
Yes.
That's
a long time for
7 years.
Yeah.
Well, it's a long time not only for you but for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
How did that come about?
I got strong armed robbery charges. So.
Strong armed robbery charges?
Yeah, that's more for like physical robbery. Like I didn't have a gun or anything. I was fighting, punching, that kind of stuff.
What were you robbing?
Oh, people. Sorry. It was 3 people.
Where was this, in the street?
Yeah, we were driving around. We stopped when we seen people walking. We hopped out the car, bum rushed them kind of, beat them up, knocked them down, tried to snatch the purses.
So you robbed 3 people?
Yeah.
How much did you take?
Oh, it was only $300 from that robbery, so it really wasn't nothing. A stupid decision, not worth anything, especially all these years of my life.
When you say from that robbery, you suggest that there were other instances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was. I just didn't get caught, fortunately.
How old were you when you started on this, may I call it a career?
Oh, well, since I was about 13.
School?
I went to school up until like 10th grade, then I started fighting, getting expelled, and I just stopped going. I'm actually really smart in school. I always had straight A's, but I just couldn't stay there. Always fighting, getting expelled.
Why couldn't you stay there? Why did you find the need to fight?
I just have a really horrible anger problem, so I always let that get the best of me.
Even looking at you now, I'm finding it difficult to believe that you are capable of having done that.
I'm very much capable of it.
Because you're still very young.
Yeah, I'm 25. Yeah.
And your sentence was?
16 years, do 8.
If you behave well.
Yeah.
If you control your anger.
Right. And actually, probably in the most recent year, I can say, I've been getting control of my anger. And I have 2 kids, so I know I have to grow.
You have 2 kids?
Yes.
How old are they?
They're 7 and 9. 2 little girls.
Do you feel you have let them down by not being there for them?
Yes, I have. And I deal with that every day, and that's really like my biggest motivation to changing and being different and coming out of here and, you know, taking something from it, not just, oh, I've been in prison. You know, I want to walk out of here and be something for them. I just do not want them to follow this same circle. Like, my mother was in prison. You know, this is the same.
What for?
Attempted murder and aggravated robbery.
So that was not perhaps a great start for you in your life, was it?
No, it wasn't. That's kind of what, you know, kicked everything off. It's mama leaving.
I like going in and seeing all the new girls.
Was it a very talkative dorm? Did you get some sleep?
They let me sleep. They helped me. They talked to me a little bit, tell me if I needed any shampoo or anything. They'd help me out. But yeah, a lot of noise, a lot of echoes. You can wake up easy, you know.
What was the biggest shock to you coming into intake?
When you like get like not really to intake, just like when you drive up in that vehicle and you turn around and you see that like the last gate close, it's like your heart goes instant. Yeah, it's really hard.
Will you have a visit soon, or?
No, my family won't come up here. Like, my dad, like, he doesn't really come and see us because it's just really hard on him. So I'm pretty sure I won't get no visits.
Why won't your father come to see you?
I think it's too hard on him because there's me and then my brother's just turned 18 and he's locked up and it's just like a pattern, you know? And I think it's really hard on him, so he won't come see me.
It's hard on him, but it's also very tough on you that he wouldn't come to see you.
Yep. Plus, he's got my daughter. He's got my 9-year-old right now. So, you know, he's got a lot of responsibilities on him, so. I said I don't know, pray for him, that's all I can do.
Your daughter is 9. At that age, she's able to understand a great deal. I wonder what your father said to her or says to her about your situation.
She knows. Melissa's been like, I've been locked up before. My daughter's Melissa, and she's really strong, and she knows everything. I don't lie to her. I told her she knows about my drug use. She knows about she knows everything. And I called her this time and told her I was going to prison, and she's like, just keep your head up.
Gosh, that's pretty tear-jerking to be told by your 9-year-old daughter to keep your head up. But even for you to make a call to say that you're going to prison.
Yep.
Yeah. And you have no idea when you'll see her again?
No. Her dad just got out of prison, and he's not seen her not one time. And she's 9, and I guess he's just like coming around. My dad's letting him come and see her, like visits. So that's like a big step for her too. When it's just like, and then it's like, I'm there and then I'm gone, you know?
Well, I hope your time passes here very quickly, and I hope that you get a chance to be reunited with your daughter and your family.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for talking to me.
You too.
Thank you.
Dangerous female prisoner in the world, and you won't believe the horrible things she did to her family. Tanya and her husband have 2 children. They live in an apartment in Washington. One Wednesday, her husband decided to go out to buy a pizza because the kids were on a lunch break. At noon, he decided to go alone and leave their 4-year-old son and 15-month-old daughter at home with their mother. He thought his wife was a good person, having been with her for over 10 years. The trip would take at most 30 minutes. Shortly after he left, the 4-year-old boy was playing in the kitchen with his sister. and something horrible happened. She decided to put her daughter in the oven and turn it on. When the father returned, he entered the apartment and smelled burnt meat. But he didn't worry too much, since they had bought pizza. However, when he went to get a glass of water in the kitchen and saw what was happening there, he was completely terrified. And you won't believe what the mother did. The police were devastated, and they said they had never seen anything like it in their lives.
This is one of the most dangerous women in the world, and you won't believe what she was capable of doing. She left the entire United States in shock. Aileen Wuornos is a widely known figure in the United States, whose name evokes a range of emotions and controversies. Born on February 29, 1956, in Rochester, Michigan, Wuornos had a difficult childhood, facing many adversities from an early age. After being abandoned by her mother at the age of 4, she was raised by her maternal grandparents. In the 1980s, Wuornos moved to Florida, where she began to face a series of challenges that changed the course of her life. Between 1989 and 1990, a series of shocking events occurred, leading to her arrest and trial. Wuornos' case became one of the most notorious in American history and inspired documentaries, books, and a highly successful film, Monster, just starring Charlize Theron. Wuornos was convicted and, in 2002, her final sentence was carried out. Her life and the events surrounding her continue to be the subject of study and debate, leaving a legacy that sparks both curiosity and reflection on the paths that led her to this fate. If you want to know what she did, comment Aileen for part.
You've just witnessed the terrifying truth behind the most dangerous women in America. If you want more real crime, shocking case files, and raw footage that exposes the darkest side of humanity, don't just scroll. Backhand index pointing right, hit follow. Thumbs up, tap like. Bell share with others who dare to watch. Because here at CrimeFiles TikTok compilations, the horror never stops.